Gotta wing it, baby. All right, all right. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Childish back at it again. We're bringing you an amazing, amazing new series. It's called Educate and Dominate, where we get some of the top names and the top guilds, get some of that one-on-one interview style, get some of that insight going, so you guys can hear it from the truth, because the truth shall set you free. My first guest today is going to be none other than the famous Oh My God Bomber. Oh my God, say hi for me. What's up, baby? There you go. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. It's okay. It's okay. So I got a couple questions for you, my man. But why don't we go ahead and get started? And why don't you fill everybody in on who is Oh My God Bomber? Why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself, how you got started in gaming, and how you came to Summoner's War today?
Oh man, been gaming since the dawn of time, but well, somebody showed me this game. I was playing some other app game, and this just seemed so much better. I had to play it. How'd you start? You know what I mean?
I was originally in the Clash of Clans. I got into that. That was one of my first big mobile games, and then Brave Frontier, bounced into that, and then from Brave Frontier, I saw a video on Summoner's War last year when it came out. So it was pretty. Once I got into it, man, I was done. Like my life was over. So
yeah.
All right.
One of my buddies downloaded it in beta, and he kept trying to tell me to play it, and I didn't play it for like a whole month. Then when I finally downloaded it, it already had like 10,000 downloads.
There you go.
So I came in like kind of a month late, but I've been playing ever since. And I have the no life mission still on there. Or is it an achievement for filling up your crystals?
Gotcha. yeah. The no life achievement. I think it's on there. All right. So as far as the gaming background, we got that. Now tell them about the what you do on the side with regards to gaming as far as Twitch goes, because obviously, as you know, I failed miserably, getting the word out about our Twitch streamers. Why don't you all fill them in on what you do and where you're located?
Oh, me and a bunch of people. We all Skype, like Barian, Scatfetus, Jakeem, a lot of the like major names. We all get in Skype and we theory craft about this game usually.
Right.
We play League a lot too. So I mean, most of us are just like gold on League, and we just play the game, for fun, a couple times a week.
Gotcha.
Our game is Summoner's War. Like that's what we all know a lot about, and most of us they're not top rated because of RNG or paying to win or something like that. It's because we've dedicated the time since the beginning and we know what makes what work,
Right, exactly.
Playing for almost over a year now.
Right.
It's approaching a year real close.
Right.
And I'm sure for most people that have been playing since the start, you're on your year. I mean, all these people that are looking at it, I remember looking back when the game first came out, you look at people like Pensol, and like Cold Steel, Jim Hart, me, William, all them, like way back then, it was like, it's so obvious you couldn't obtain that as free to play, but now like people could beat TOA hard. People could be, top 30 in arena and you could be free to play. Like this game's coming into that the strategical standpoint, and if you know what you're doing, you can kind of like rise above and excel into that category. But you got to know what you're doing, and you got to surround yourself with people that know what you're doing and kind of like talk about it and think about it a little bit more than others.
Definitely.
That's kind of what our stream does. Like, I don't even like calling it my stream, and I don't.
Right. Yeah. You got everybody on there. Yeah.
It's like all of us. We're like a team.
Right. And so let me go ahead and fill in everybody. Like I state to everybody in this game. The person that thinks they know everything knows nothing, and despite people coming to me and trying to find some insight in the game, I know what I know because of people like you and others in the top end, providing these streams and providing these insights for people. One of the things that you are definitely known for is with your group, as far as your group on Twitch, and then of course your guild is creating a monster list with regards to the game. Can you talk to a little bit about that, and where we can get that at if we want to look at that?
Oh, I haven't posted on the Come To Us forums right now, and that's just a Google Doc. And I'll give you a link to it. You could probably put it below or something if you want.
Yep, I'll go ahead and add it.
That's on the Come to Us forums, but we're going to be moving it to a website. Right now it's on Summer's or Tool Shack as well.
Okay.
That's a website that's just, it's kind of moving over towards a new website that's going to be opening up soon, but it's not live yet.
Okay.
And there's going to be a lot more interface, a lot more options to it on the new website, and when that comes out, it'll be so much better because you can't like filter certain things and you can't filter out like skills and whatnot. And that's what we're really trying to go for, is getting every single piece of data very easy to see. Like just today, I was trying to look up units that are similar to Praha, something that has a heal and can AoE dispel. It's so hard to do that online. You can't find that. Like, it's so hard, you know. Like,
right,
you list them off like out of memory. Like, I can't. Like, I was looking at my light elemental. It was a guardian reward. It's pretty similar to Praha. If it crits on auto, it gets 30% attack gauge. So you could build it like Despair Revenge, and it can dispel and stun people in the same turn. But it doesn't have the heal. So I'm trying to find something with the heal. And it's just, we want to make the guide better than what it is. I mean, we gave a lot of ratings out. And we try to keep up with the patches, like 1 through 5. And it's gotten a lot of scrutiny, but like, this isn't just like one person, like one person's opinions. Like, if I have little to no experience on a monster, I don't tackle that monster. We got like 5 guys or more on this project, and we've been doing it for so long now that like the monsters that you see in ratings, it's not like, you can't look at it, be like, oh, OmgBomber, why'd you rate this so low? It's like, this isn't my guide, this is our guide.
Right,
like,
right.
That monster might have been done by somebody that has a lot of experience with it. You gotta look at it at an end game standpoint as well. Like, in the top guardian like level, that's where most of them ratings are coming from, is just the pure strictest end game, like, elitist mindset, I want to call it.
Right. Like, elitist. What a strong word, baby. Elitist. I like it.
Yeah, because if it has one thing wrong with it, and that one thing like another unit can cover, like I'll go back to the Praha example. Like, the light elemental doesn't have the heal. Like, I can't use that now.
Right.
You know, like it's missing one thing. That's it. And now I can't use it in high end because I don't have that utility.
Yep, for sure. So for those that haven't checked out the link, it's gonna show you like the ranking from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being not. And if it's considered like a late game monster, he'll have some rune specs on there, some recommendations on there for you, and some side notes with regards to the units. Anything else that I might be missing with regards to the list that they could benefit from?
I mean, right now we have fusion materials. User notes as well. Like, some people like to chime in, so you can do that in the Google Doc. You can edit that column and chime in and change other people's and have wars. That happens once in a while.
Gotcha.
But it's pretty much it on that aspect. It's gonna be upgraded soon, though. Pretty big overhaul, just visually, and like how you just can search things. We wanted to add Guild Wars, but we kind of got distracted. Guild Wars is pretty simplistic.
It's a whole nother ball game, yeah.
Really good. Because of the lacking of one unit, it kind of makes the counterplay a lot easier to recognize.
All right. Well, let's see here. We'll go ahead and talk about Arena first. I'm going to just pop out some questions to you and see what you think about it. Speaking of which, why don't you fill people on? I mean, I know you've been a top 100 player for quite some time. To kind of give an idea of what it takes to be top 100. Obviously, the units and the runes got to be there. But as far as maintaining a top 100, currently right now, what do you think that just needs to be had, with regards to a, standard arena defense?
First, like, top 100 is all about your defense. You need to change it, like, depending on where you're at. Like a lot of times I'll be in Conqueror, or I'll go down to like Conqueror 3, or I'll D-rank into Conqueror 2, and people will have like faster Bernards than my Chloe or something like that. They'll outspeed me. I'll be like, whoa, this guy way down here outspeeded me. I don't even know who he is. There's people that have like better runes on certain units than me, but the thing is like they don't really have too much like kill potential on their comp. They put like a tank in there, so they kind of ignored the synergy of how fast they are. Didn't really utilize it. You know, I'm sure there's 3-star units that they could have even used that have some AOE that they don't want to invest in, but they're throwing on something else. But it's all about AD. Like if I go down that low, I change my AD to something a little bit more meta in that area. You know, a little bit faster, a little bit more one-shotty, and I'll pull out a lot more successfuls that'll boost me back up pretty fast. And then when I get back up there, I'll refresh my list, get the higher ranking players on my list, clear the higher ranking players. If I feel like their comp's it's gonna take too long, then I just skip them and refresh the list sometimes. That's what I've been doing now. I know for a long time I was clearing my lists, and that was just to glory farm. Now it's more of like a luxury thing where the faster you can clear people, the more people you can get, the more points you can get.
Sure.
And then as long as you just centralizing your focus on like the people on the bottom of your list, which are going to be the highest rated. If you're looking just on the top like 3 or 4 and then refreshing, doing 1 or 2 of them, whichever one's going to be the fastest for you, and then refreshing, you'll be able to climb the leaderboard faster. And then when you're higher up in the top 100s or so, you want to kind of make it seem like your comp is going to take somebody a while. So it wouldn't be worth their time to even attack you. Like that's kind of the judgment when you're in that area is like you want to make it seem like you have something that's either going to just kill you, which 90% of the time doesn't work. Like the rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 players, maybe like the rank top 5 players, those comps are like pretty much the only comps in the game that can utilize that strength where it's like, oh, I can kill you, so you can't attack me.
Right.
And the thing is like, if you have enough tankiness at the same time, then you can't just gimmick them with like a bunch of will ruins and Darien and like, tank them to death basically.
Gotcha. And
just make their comp kind of useless. And that's what kind of separates the Conqueror from the Guardian right now is like if you can get that speed comp that's in the Conqueror very, very tanky, but without losing damage.
Gotcha.
And keep the speed and everything, you can kind of try to push yourself higher ranking.
Okay.
But you also need to understand who's attacking you. Like Mike's Scat Fetus is a big one on this.
Okay.
Call him by his name, but
no, that's
not like it all the time. But he's the big one about changing his defense all the time, depending on who's attacking him. And I'm more of like I change my defense depending on where I'm at. Like if I'm in Conqueror, like High Conqueror, I'll put on like Tyron, Dragon, Bernard, or something really fast that can just nuke you. And that will push me into Guardian. And then when I'm in Guardian, I'll put on like, Ifrit, Chloe, Belladarian, or something like really tanky that would just take you a little longer than most, like, kind of fast comps where you would just like pop a Chloe shield and one-shot the whole team. Gotcha.
And so when climbing up, one of the things that I've kind of learned from your videos, you got, when you're looking at teams going in the arena offense, whatnot, I have identified a phrase, or your group of people have identified a phrase as far as a what you call a kill threat or a survival threat. So can you talk a little bit about that to our viewers and kind of tell them, what you look for, what you consider when you're fighting an opponent in the arena?
Oh, kill potential.
Kill potential. There you go.
If the comp looks like it can't secure a kill, then it's just free money. Like you run in there with like anything and you bring like Lucians in there and just wipe their whole team because they can't secure a kill. If they have a lot of healing potential, a lot of sustain, a lot of speed, so they can get a lot of turns to keep that sustain rolling, they get like 3 or 4 turns, to keep them healthy. Then you might want to reconsider coming in there with that kind of a strategy. But if they're kind of like naked, you could just buff your comp and try to AoE one-shot them. that's what a lot of the people that are playing this long. I mean, a lot of people are gonna look at my words right now and be like, and judge them, and they're gonna be like, oh, they have Lucian, they have this, they have that, they're lucky. We've been playing for a year now, and the thing is like, if you don't have every 4-star by now, it's kind of unlucky even. Like, just with the free-to-play players, like for me, I don't have every 4-star. All right, I believe that even as free-to-play after this whole year, you could probably have 90% of the 4-stars that are out, and you probably have duplicates of most of them.
Sure.
So like, it's not about the whole, oh, this guy spent $10,000, like, it doesn't matter how much somebody spent pretty much right now. It matters how you synergize your group together now.
Good.
At this point in the game. Like, you could spend $1 million in this game. It doesn't mean you're going to be rank 1 if you don't. Right. If you spend everything on summons, like, you're not going to have the runes. You won't be able to synergize your comp well. You didn't do the dragon runs. You didn't do the prep work to compete,
Yeah, for sure.
It's a pretty big scale.
All right. Let me throw another one at you here. So again, I'm going. All my little questions are from your guys' video. So this is stuff that I've learned, and I want to go ahead and throw it out because I think it's valuable to everybody. You've gotten into conversation a couple times with Scat and Varian with regards to the value of speed in the Guardian ranks, kind of regardless of the actual unit. I mean, in certain units, you recommend a spec for speed, but generally speaking, speed is king. And it's going to benefit you regardless of what type of unit it is. So can you get into that and tell us a little bit about that?
Well, not slot 2 speed. That needs to be kind of cleared up right away.
Right. And that's what I want you to just tell me.
Slot 2 speed is like, that's 42 speed. When you look at that value, the maximum speed you can have on a substat on a 135, 246 slot, just on a substat, is 30%, and that's just the maximum. Okay. So when you compare the maximum sub to like the maximum prime on a 2 slot, like to other things like HP, to something that's going to be like a combat stat instead of just like how often are you going to get your turns. The speed isn't really as important on a lot of units unless it's on the substat. There are a lot of units that you need to have like plus 100 speed, obviously, right?
Sure.
Or more, like Chloe,
right.
Like Bernard, you name it. There's a lot of units that really want that, but to kind of get into that higher echelon, you need to make up for that speed somehow. And right. if you don't have like a speed leader, you can opt into the 2 slot, but you're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage usually.
Okay.
If you have to go that route on units that don't benefit very heavily from it, like Praha or
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another one like Bella. Bella does too, but she doesn't need it. It's just preferred.
Okay. Well, how about this one? Let's go ahead and we're going to take a step back from that elite level back to the kind of beginner stages because we're going to have a lot of people new to this game chiming in. There's one concept that when I got into the game, I still didn't understand completely, and it took me quite a long time to understand. The topic of accuracy versus resistance, the amount of accuracy you need to land something as far as, you got the activation rate and then the accuracy versus resistance rate and whatnot. Can you talk a little bit about that? Explain, what kind of goes down with regards to attempting to land a hostile effect and the processes that go along with landing that?
We used to have the answer for that. I don't really think we have the answer anymore.
Okay.
I'm kind of what would you call it? Theorist, I guess.
Sure.
In that regards, I know the math behind it. I know the old math that was brought up a long time ago, and that was 15% chance to resist no matter what.
Right.
And then the difference is added on after 15%. So if you have 15% resistance, you basically have 0 resistance. But if you have 100% resistance, then you have 85% resistance maximum. Right?
Right.
So on both ends of the spectrum, there's that 15% chance that it might resist or it might not. So It doesn't matter how much you really have. But that was the old math that we calculated a long time ago. They changed resistance in PvE, like when they revamped Giants and Dragons. So the water archangel couldn't just solo every dungeon anymore because it actually gets debuffed now. Before, it used to never get debuffed against anything ever because it had 100% resistance in PvE, and 100% resistance in PvE was 100%. You could never ever get a debuff on you.
Right.
But now you can.
Right. Okay.
So when that change happened, it seemed like units that have like resistance leaders, like leader abilities and awakening bonuses, they have innate advantages that I don't understand yet, but there's not a whole lot of testing that I've seen.
All right.
And it always seems like I could flame breath, a Ramagos 100 times, and even with 30% accuracy, I'll get them 95% of the time, or like 80%, 85% of the time.
Right.
That's the exact amount. I'll probably get them.
That's kind of like me with using Bella. Bella, I got maybe 40 to 45% accuracy, and I remove beneficial effects every time. Like I barely miss.
Yeah, but then when you do it to something like a Chassoon that has, or like a Reyna that has innate resistance onto it, even if you have a unit that has like 85% accuracy, it just doesn't seem like they resist just 15% of the time.
Yeah.
So there needs to be some heavy testing on that.
Okay.
Still, I think I haven't seen any articles on Reddit yet.
Okay.
About it, but.
Well, fill us in when you get some, and we'll put it in the link. We'll add it in the video later on down the future. I know you don't have too much time, so let me go ahead and get right next to the other one. We'll kind of branch into Trial of Ascension. For those that don't know, guys, I think last season 7, OmgBomber was the #1 ranked player on the Trial of Ascension. He did finish it first, so congratulations to you, sir.
Thanks. It was really close.
It was really close. I know. It was pretty damn close. I want to kind of get in this because we hear it a lot from people. I'm sure you get it 50,000 times. People, send you a message and be like, hey, I'm stuck on this level. I got this unit. I got that unit, and how do I beat this or how do I beat that? And, I think it kind of comes down to, having certain types of units that provide certain types of, buffs, what have you, in order to clear it. It's not really a matter of if you can do it, with or without a certain unit. Would you agree on that, or would you, think something else?
I feel like it's a ruin and composition check. Mostly, like, when I first made my comp for TOA, like, right after it came out, and I was like, whoa, I have to do something. I have to make something because I didn't even think about this, like, it was a completely different game strategy that never existed when TOA first came out. And I had Lure at the time that wasn't even worked on. I had Beretta that I still needed to fuse. I had Era that I needed to, like, kind of revamp. And in the future, I got Tyron, who I also had to build up as well. So these units that have all these different AoE abilities and AoE crowd control effects, AoE debuffs like slows and AoE gauge knockbacks, those units are very, very sought after, especially daughters like Beretta. Beretta's like the king of TOA. Gotcha. One of them, at least. So if you guys were around during the Halloween event, the Dark
Grim Reaper?
The Dark Grim Reaper just got, I don't think it just got, but it got that big buff. I didn't even realize it until recently that it stuns anything that has a dot on its Doomsday now. So it's kind of like Tyron. It actually is one turn shorter on its stun too, and it does way more damage.
Wow.
So
I'm excited.
It's kind of a TOA god right now.
Yeah,
I'm building it as right now it's in my XP.
That's crazy because I farmed one and I just left it in there to summon, and now I have a reason to summon it. So thank you for that insight. Speaking of dots, going from Trial of Ascension normal to Trial of Ascension hard, people obviously once they get into that 50 plus, they realize that or some people that haven't seen it, it's quite a different ball game. Can you talk about the dots and certain type of units that are just necessary to get from 50 to up in the echelon there on the higher stages?
Usually about 50 to 90. I don't really have issues ever. Like once in a while I'll mess up and I'll bring something and too many resists will happen or something.
Right.
And then I'll take rank. I'll lose rank or whatever on TOA when I was racing. I didn't get to race this last time because of work. But and the weird reset. Oh my god, that was.
Yeah, that was a cluster. That was all messed up. I felt bad for all y'all that normally stay up till midnight or whatever to go ahead and do that. So crowd control, dots, that's pretty much kind of the name of the game when it comes to Trial of Ascension Hard and kind of making your way to. Is it pretty?
The gauge debuff is kind of big too, like the wind toast, water dragon. Anything that just knocks the gauge back is amazing. Not the single target gauge debuffs as much. It's more about getting your cooldowns back before they start taking the dot ticks to die. And then you just use your auto attacks when something gets a turn. You use your auto attacks and just like kind of hope you get a despair proc. Units like Lure have added stun chance on its auto attack as well. So you're putting out all these different chances to stun them single target while at the same time getting your turn back because you have them slowed and crowd controlled. Right. So you just kind of rotate them into dying from dots.
Right, and if I'm correct, if I stand corrected, I believe for some of your compositions within Trial of Ascension Hard, you literally don't take any healers. You take a full-blown team of crowd control, stunners, dotters, and whatnot, and you get the job done.
All the way up until boss force, yeah.
Right. So take note of that, guys. That is huge, something that a lot of people don't really talk about. They think they need healers. They think they need tons of immunity. It is important, but at that stage of the game, you definitely need that crowd control in there. But
yep. Last summer, I remember having that revelation where I was like, if I just go a little bit more YOLO, that I just, it seems like it's so risky. But I was trying it out, and I'm like, it's winning, it's working like all the time. Like if they're dead, they can't deal DPS. So like you win, right? So you just, if you can out pressure them and keep them crowd controlled and just kill them before they can even get a turn, like that's such a viable strategy, and that's so fast too.
Right.
That's one of the huge reasons you can like speed run TOA as fast as you can is by killing them before they even get a turn. And if they do get a turn, they're stunned, so they don't have to play any animation times.
Right.
As well, that saves you, like every time they get a turn, it saves you a few seconds.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Let's talk about a little bit of the Kairos dungeon here. We'll kind of go back again to some of the beginners. When they come in the game, they see the giants, they see the dragon zones, and they know that giants is extremely important to kind of get started right away since the dragons is harder. When will you make the switch into focusing from the giants and the farming of those runes to the dragons, and some of those rare runes are what the top players use in the end game today?
That's a really hard transition to make. I mean, you have to. There's no like mathematical solution for that. You have to just look at your account and be like, okay, this unit, its best set is violent. This unit, this best set is despair revenge. This unit is violent nemesis. This unit is this. You have to look at your ruins and just like kind of write it all down. Look at the overview and be like, all right, split out Dragon's ruins over here to one side, split out Giant's ruins over here to that side, and then kind of weigh your options and be like, all right, I can clear Giants right now. I can do that, and I have it on farm. Gotcha. I don't have my team made yet. Is it worth it to invest into the team, or should I just try to maximize my ruins right now and get the most out of my team comp as it is, so I can climb in TOA? Because Despair set is very, very, very brutal in TOA. That will get you through like everything in TOA. You can do everything just from Giant ruins in TOA. So if that's like your main goal, you want to do that first and get that catch up. Get your farm on. Try to get into catch up mode basically. Just doing every little thing imaginable and cutting every corner imaginable without wasting anything, ignoring all distractions. That's a huge, huge thing. And Nick the Greek, he's involved in that new website that's coming out as well. We're writing a few guides, and one of the ones I'm dedicated on is distractions and how to like realize what a distraction is and ignore it. Later in the game, you might go for some like luxury distractions, things that are like tests. That it might not work, but you as a player that's not like in that position where they can go into these luxury routes where you already have all this stuff built. You have your kingdom made. You're good. You're set. You shouldn't be going off and working on side missions. You want to just get your core proven solid team ready and finished first before everything, and then move on to like the luxury units and like what makes you unique, what sets you apart. Work on that after you get what's making you strong. You need to get the ruin influx first. That's going to be your power. That's going to make you strong enough to be able to make yourself unique.
Gotcha.
You'll never be able to be unique if you can't make that unique monster strong, basically.
Good deal. And I know you touched on this before as far as the best farming spot or whatnot. You're a big fan of Faimon Hell. Can you in your opinion, can you tell me what is what the benefit of Faimon farming versus SD farming? There's a lot of people that criticize that say secret dungeon farming is the best, and some people say Faimon Hell is the best. What do you think?
Personally, before they changed experience in hard and hell, like they increased hell like 20% or something like that a long time ago. Normal mode Famian was actually the most experienced in the game. Believe it or not, before the new maps were released, or the new scenarios.
No kidding. I did not know that.
Normal mode. Yeah. Really funny. But now Hell modes actually have more experience than everything after the buff. But the huge deal is efficiency. You might look at certain things that you only want on your account. Like you only want fodder, which would be great. Secret dungeons, do secret dungeon, you get fodder and mana. That's all you might want on your account. But you need to look at everything when it comes to efficiency as well. You have to add in like 2-star drops because those count as XP as well. You don't want to sacrifice your 1-stars to anything but 2-stars as well because that's inefficient. You spend more mana. That mana that you save is just, it stacks up every single time you do it. You put 5 1-stars into a 2-star monster. You just save, I don't know, what is it, a couple thousand or 1,000 mana? I don't know off the top of my head. I can check, but what is it? 2-star, it's 300 per 1-star. Off a 3-star, that's 450. So you save 150 mana every single unit that you sack into that. Like that stacks. So eventually after a year, you probably save $1 million or more. So that, along with other efficiency items like your giant or your golem, your crystal golem, you want to get that right away. You want to be able to get your XP lakes right away as well, as long as you can use them and utilize them. If you can't utilize them and you forget to put them in there, don't bother buying them. But the crystal tower, it's all about that all around efficiency. And I've done a lot of math on my own on the side, and I don't have all of the answers because you can try to make everything equal to something where you take a 2-star monster and try to convert it into a value. You take a mana stone and you try to convert it into a value. And that value is correlating with itself, right?
Right.
And I've tried to make everything correlate into an undescribable X value. And I mean, I don't have the exact math, but it's all over Reddit, and a guy named Absolute does really, really good work on this as well.
All right. So you guys... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just wrapping it up last thing, too. From what he did on his findings, he didn't add in a few things. He left some things out of Famian, and Famian ended up being more than everything else.
Okay.
Except, I think, the last place on Hell, the Chakra Hell.
Right.
I think that's not viable.
Right, that's just too hard, yeah.
Especially not for speed, because you also don't really want to be Famian running unless you absolutely have to. Once you got your teams rolling, you just want to be farming giants to get ruins and to get fodder all in one, because that's even more efficient than everything. But if you have double experience on, you want to be running Famian all day. That's where you want to be farming in, because like secret dungeons, if you pop a double XP, that ain't doing nothing for you.
Right.
You know, you don't want to be doing like the fodder farming unless you have a double XP popped anyway. And if you're starting off from 3 stars because you're doing so much giants over and over and over again, and you just only start from 3 stars because you only do giants, then when you do Famian, if you pop a 3-day scroll, you can get 2, 3, 6 stars in that 3-day, as long as you no life it and go into your basement for the weekend.
There you go. Let's see. You made a comment about Beretta. I think we can throw Veramos into this next question. Besides the Beretta and Veramos, is there any other unit that people should focus on with regards to fusible units that are available right now for the community?
JoJo has viability, but it's all prerogative to your account. Like it's up to you. I mean, I feel like is a mandatory. Like it changes the game. When I finally got it, I just got it, the other week, or like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. I can't remember exactly, but when I got that, I just looked at it and I was just like, I felt so much pride for finally building it because of how good it is. It just changes your account completely. It really does. It changes your Giants runs. It changes your Guild Wars. It changes your arena sometimes. Like you'll see opportunities where like their composition just screams out to you, Veramos me, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm coming for it because it's so easy sometimes.
Gotcha.
It's just an amazing monster. That Beretta, like, what's not to love about
it's turned on? I love that unit, dude. I love it. I can't get enough.
On a speed leader, yeah.
It can't be beat. Let's see here. So now we got some kind of fun questions to kind of throw out. One of the things go ahead.
For TOA as well, when we're on this fire succubus. You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. The fire succubus. We were talking about this the other day when TOA first kind of came out, and the hardest floor for free-to-play players is probably going to be the double parent, double Wadam stage. That's probably going to be one of the harder ones.
Right.
I don't know what stage that was exactly.
Stage 80. Stage 80.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, for the light tiles and the perimeters. Yeah, stage 80 on normal. Yep. Yeah,
that stage is probably going to be one of the harder ones. But if you have the Fire Succubus, it does AoE, HP disruption, and that's a fusible unit now. I mean, they give us units for a reason.
Yeah.
And like for PvE, they're going to give us units for PvE because they want us to be able to do the content that they provide us. So like the Fire Succubus and the Fire Self, those 2 units in that floor, like with Despair, you should have no problem if you run in there with 5 units that have Despair. Even if you only have like Bella as your only healer, you should be more than fine. Bring in like Shannon, slow them down. It really, you'd be so surprised on how good it works.
That's probably one of the biggest take-home messages that they could take right now, because there's going to be tons of people asking, how do you beat stage 80? Honestly, I thought stage 80 was harder than stage 100. Such a pain, but of course, I didn't have a succubus at the time, so I had to just utilize what I had and got it done. But man, it was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, there's other floors that she would help on too as well, but that's like one of the main ones that I would think of. But I have Zeros, so it's like
easy mode, right? Yeah.
It was harder than most stages, but it's still kind of meh, whatever.
Gotcha. Let's see here. So if you didn't know, for those that are new to the channel, my guild is Epic Fail. So we take pride in failing all the time. Can you give a little quick story, whatever, of like one of your biggest epic fails within this game? Hit him with that nasty now.
Oh man.
And keep me posted on your time. I know we're getting a little bit longer than we thought, so let me know where you're sitting at.
I got like half an hour.
Okay, yeah, we won't be that long. I'm almost done.
Biggest epic fail.
Biggest epic fail, bro. Hit it.
I just recently put Devilmon onto Malacca, and then they released that.
The OmgBomber?
The OmgBomber.
Oh,
like
damn.
The next week. That's the most recent epic fail.
Okay.
I don't know. Back in the day, I didn't really have anything too good to really mess up.
Gotcha.
I almost sacked my Chloe to Reyna, but my buddy was like, yo, have you done Giants? It starts to hit so hard on your whole team. I bet you could, like, use that to make it invincible for a second if you could time it right. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll keep her and just keep her around for a while.
Yeah.
This was back when, like, storage wasn't a thing. It was so hard to, like, choose who to keep because you always ran out of storage. Like, having 100 slots was unheard of. No one was that rich.
Yeah, that's good. Another one of the things that we got going on my channel is an underrated and overlooked series. Now, I know you recall we've talked about this a couple of times in private chat. Asking you about certain units that you feel that's underrated and overlooked. I've showcased some of those units in my channel. What's your number one unit that you feel that is underrated and overlooked, and why?
Ooh. Man. I would say Kona, except she kind of got, like, a lot of praise. And I kind of stopped using her after I got Veramos as often.
So, I mean, obviously the things have changed post Veramos, but pre Veramos, would you say Kona was your number one underrated unit?
Oh yeah, people used her all the time for PvE, but they didn't understand how good she was in PvP as well.
Right.
But now, also with the attack gauge change as well that just recently came out, she doesn't steal turns anymore with her second ability. So you actually lose out on her second ability pretty often.
Right, and that's another thing maybe to point out real quick for the viewers that don't understand. Are you familiar with the recent change as far as the whole concept of stealing turns and whatnot and how it works now?
Oh, yeah. Basically, like, if their attack gauge fills up, before you used to be able to, like, Bernard buff or fill your teammate's gauge with, like, Kona and give them the next turn almost guaranteed, unless they were exactly tied with Kona or whatever's filling it, right? If they were one speed lower and your monster filled their gauge, they would get to go. But not anymore. There's some kind of, we don't know the exact number. I don't know the exact number, at least. I haven't seen any exact number postings. But if it's really close, if they're really close, even if you filled their attack gauge and their speed technically wouldn't have gone, it doesn't mean you're going to steal their turn. It just gives them, like, next turn, like, after that guaranteed.
Gotcha. And let's see here. This one's kind of an interesting, weird one. I don't know how we could throw this in one. As far as the underrated unit, what about underrated rune? One that just, a main rune or a subset rune. I'm thinking this is going to probably fall in the subset runes, the smaller 2-set ones. But what do you think's the most underrated rune set out there?
I think Vampire is really underrated.
There you go. I was hoping you said Vampire.
It's so underrated. It makes no sense. There's a lot of units. Well, not a lot of units. There's a few units that if you put Vampire on them, like, I don't care if you have Violent on them. If you put Vampire on them, there's so many times in Guild Wars especially where I'm like, if that guy had Vampire, I would have been done. Like, there is no way I would have beat him. But I barely, like, scrape it by with, like, Chloe autos the whole game. Like, you just press play and Chloe solos them.
Yeah.
But if they had Vampire and a decent amount of speed, they just smoke you.
Right. And
I have one really good Vampire set, and that it does Fammy and Hell no problem.
Gotcha. And how about for if you're kind of looking to utilize a Vampire set on a DPS based unit, I would kind of think of trying to go, hopefully getting the crit rates up so you can go attack, crit damage attack. I would think that,
you gotta have a lot of speed so you can get your turns too.
Right. And
always revenge.
Right. The bigger the damage, the more heal, right? The bigger the damage, the more heal.
Yeah.
So having the crit damage high as well, kind of almost like a Rage Blade kind of a setup with judo attack, crit damage attack, but vampire with a little bit of speed there too.
If you can get a lot of speed on substats, then yeah, you can ignore the slot 2 speed. I really heavily prefer that slot 2 speed though. Okay. Unless you're running like Leo. Leo would be an obvious exception because you don't want speed on Leo.
Right, yeah, the passive, yeah.
I feel like that's probably Leo's best set is Vampire Revenge.
There you go.
Try attacking him in Guild Wars.
Game over. Game over. Let's see here. 2 more questions, and I will let you be, sir. How about I got one from my co-leader. He was curious about your generic arena team. What's the team that you're just like, let's bring it in, call it a day, whatever,
Oh, my base one?
Yeah, your base one. Your go-to team.
I still don't even have one. I've swapped it like 5 times today.
Oh man.
But my Conqueror team, the one that I have on most of the time because it traps most of the middle rated players, I have a Tyron with a Despair focus, 105 bonus speed.
Jesus.
On his Despair set. So that's what I use to trap people, I guess. But then I run Fire Dragon, Bernard, and Megan. That team seems to do really well. But for AO, my main team's recently been a leader. Most of the time it's Fire Dragon leader with Chloe, with Will Set and Doublelution. And I just hunt certain people to be able to kill them very, very fast. Other times it will be Dragon, Megan, Lure, Chloe. So I can block their first turn with Chloe so I don't die. Buff attack power on Dragon, AoE defense break their whole team, and hopefully one-shot their whole team before they get a turn.
Nice.
Or get their second turn.
Nice.
That's usually my 2 AOs right now. I don't really try to mess around with the bruiser meta anymore. I did for a really long time, and I understand the bruiser meta very well. But it just takes, I don't want to spend 5 minutes in an arena.
Yep.
It takes so long.
Yeah, I kind of miss Conquer 1 and just taking my speed team and just knocking them out in 10 or 20 seconds. Can't do that right now, so.
I had to upgrade. Lucian's a lot to do what I'm doing right now in Guardian.
Right.
Right now, I was rank 30. I'm down to rank 64. Just by now, it's pretty vicious today.
Right.
Being reset day. But
let's see here. What about with regards to Guild Wars? Another question my guild leader had was, as far as raid times, everyone, with the 12-hour window now, everyone kind of it seems like people like to spread them out. How do you go about raid times? Do you guys like to do them twice a day, every day, or do you like to save them up for the end? If there's any benefit to that, how about that?
If you're trying to get rank 1, there's a very specific strategy that you have to do, and it's you save your invites until they're just about to hit max invites. If they hit max invites, that's fine because you're not going to miss out on any invites because you have a 5 or 6 hour leeway where if you sit at max invites for 6 hours, you still don't miss an invite because you'll get it back and you'll be able to use it in time.
Gotcha.
I think it might be 4 hours, but I would look into that before you try to do the strategy.
Okay.
But basically, you're holding off your attacks so then if anybody beats you, you won't lose more points than if you were using your attacks at that time. So you just try to stay as heavy on attacks as you can all week long, only doing 1 or 2 at a time. One hold on for 12 hours, one hold on for 12 hours. You're just skimming at 5 and 6 invites the whole time. And then when it hits the last day of the week, you hold off until you're comfortable with how long your guild wars come out, set up a schedule, make sure everybody's online. If you can do that and attack it all at once, you're going to be able to boost yourself higher ranking. But my guild, we just take it easy. We just do one invite every 12 hours now. I mean, it's pretty nice. You don't really have to stress. No showing up on time. Gotcha. And doing 6 invites for 3 hours or 5 hours or whatever.
For sure. All right, my man. That pretty much concludes the session. Do you want to give a quick shout outs to any of the people that you know?
I mean, we're over here on Twitch TV pretty much every single day. Me, Scatfedius, Barry. It's Twitch TV /OmgBomber on the Summers War Sky Arena directory. If you look on Reddit, if we're online, you'll usually be able to see us there. If you send us a follow, Barry has his own stream as well. It's like, what is it? Barry 810, I think.
Yep, Barry 810, yep. And for those that don't know, it's Barry is the number one, ranked player in Arena right now and has been for quite some time. So
it's give and take. I mean, it's between him and
Barry and Scat,
Scat.
Yeah, they go back and forth.
They're both ranked one in my heart.
I feel you. I no disrespect to Scat because I know he's going to listen to this later on, but I feel the same way. No, I agree completely. All right, my man. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate everything. When is the next? Can you let people know when is the next Twitch stream?
Oh, if you ever go to my stream on Twitch TV /OmgBomber, scroll down. I just recently added this. You'll see a bunch of buttons all over the place, and it might get might shock your eyes. But if you ever click schedule, there's actually a countdown now that I just started doing this week for my next stream, and my next stream is scheduled in 4 days and 20 hours, and that's in 116 hours, 6,977 minutes.
There you go.
Or 418,000 seconds. So
nice.
Tells you exactly how long.
All right, so we got the countdown. All right, guys, and that's every Friday normally at 6 p.m. Is that Central?
Yeah, I usually start early, but sometimes I'll start right on the dot.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So we'll go ahead and conclude the session right there, guys. I want to go ahead and thank again OmgBomber for all of his support for the YouTube community, the Summoners War community, and the Twitch community. As a token of my appreciation for him, I'm going to be donating a $25 gift card, iTunes or Google Play of his choice, that will be given away at his next Twitch stream. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be, I believe that's May 21st. Wait a second. May 22nd for that Twitch stream. So stay tuned to that, guys, if you want to get in on that $25 giveaway, okay? Anything you want to add, boss?
That's awesome, man. You didn't tell me about that. That's pretty sweet.
Of course I'm not going to tell you about that, man. But, I mean, you've just given so much insight in the game, and it's people like you that don't kind of take the time out of the day to provide that insight, and I appreciate it a lot, man. I mean, it means a lot to me, and I know it's going to mean a lot. There's a lot of things for people to pick up for it, and if this thing blows up, it's because you gave me the opportunity to showcase, the knowledge that you, Scat, Barry, and many, many others have, that, and to be able to give that to us, that's without words, right? I can't describe it. So I really do appreciate it, man.
I appreciate all the love that everybody's doing. There's so much help behind the scenes that I don't even know about, that people are doing to help out, the streamers, and help out even just my stream or other people's streams on Summers War. It's amazing. Everybody's doing an awesome job, and I love it. Keep it up, everybody.
All right. Well, take it easy, guys. It's your boy Childish and OmgBomber with ChildishPlays checking out. Take care. We will see you next time. We're out.